home of the Heron, era of the hustler.
What's up, Kryptonians? It's your boy Superfan K, and on today's episode of the Superfan Show, I will be reviewing The Nice Guys. Came out Friday, directed by Shane Black. For those of you who give a shit, I'm sorry that I did not have this video up earlier. I've been really busy and sleepy the last couple days. I did not have any time whatsoever to get this review out. Been running around like Lindsay Lohan after she sniffed a few lines of coke. But I'm a little bit re-energized, I'm back, I'm healthy, sexier than ever. So let's talk about this movie, which in my opinion is one of the best movies of 2016. The Nice Guys stars Russell Crowe, it stars Ryan Gosling, and this chick named Angourie Rice. And it's about this private investigator, and it's about him and this enforcer guy who kind of are investigating the disappearance of this girl. Their paths run into each other, then they kind of have to team up to figure out what happened to this girl and how it relates to the death of this porn star, and they get caught up into this big web of conspiracy and mystery and murder and porn. Lots and lots of porn. There's a lot of booby shots in this movie. If you're squeamish about that, leave the kids at home. But otherwise, if you like porn the way that I do, you'll have a good time with this. Let's get into the supers and the Luthors of The Nice Guys. From a super's perspective, Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe, their characters, man, they just brilliant. I haven't seen chemistry this good in like a buddy cop type of movie probably since that Two Guns movie back in 2014. Does anybody remember that shit? The one with Mark Wahlberg and Denzel Washington. You know, you just have these two incredibly charismatic actors just playing off of each other. Brilliant. And that's kind of how it was in this movie. Their banter, their dialogue back and forth, the way they play off each other. What I liked about them the most is that they're different, but they're also very similar in terms of their characters. They both have these tragic backstories that are explained in the movie as for why they are. Russell Crowe, he's this really uptight, professional, hardcore guy. He's an enforcer. He's got a dark side. He's got a lot of issues. Ryan Gosling is kind of like the fuck up of the movie, you know, like he's a drunk, he drinks a lot, he messes up, but he's also, when he puts his mind to it, a pretty damn good private eye. He takes advantage of people for their money, and so they're both damaged characters, and that's kind of why they work so well together. Their chemistry, great in this movie. Also, gotta give a shout out to Shane Black, the way he directed the action scenes. This movie has some pretty cool shootout and action sequences. It's not just about the whole buddy cop on a road trip type thing. There are some really legitimate, intense shootouts in this movie, and the guy that directed Iron Man 3, I know we all have issues with Iron Man 3, but one thing you can't complain about is the action in that movie. It was pretty good, and you can't complain about it in this one either, the action. I also like the story in this movie. You're intrigued by the story, you care about the story, you care about where it's going. They take a lot of elements from old movies that are kind of like, you know, like we've seen them before, like we've seen a lot of these elements before, but the way they combine it and shoot it in this movie, it makes it feel fresh, it makes it feel original, it makes it feel not like your typical buddy cop movie, which is pretty fucking sweet. And another thing, Angourie Rice, she plays Ryan Gosling's daughter in this movie. Now, I thought she was just going to be like the tag-along piece, like I thought she was just going to be the, you know, whatever, it's his daughter and blah, 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 but no. She actually plays a pretty big role in this movie. She was badass. She was awesome for a 13-year-old kid. She reminded me a lot of, and I think this has been going around the internet a lot, but the last couple of days, but it's kind of true. She reminds me a lot of Ellie, you know, from that zombie movie, game, not zombie movie, zombie game. You guys know what zombie game I'm talking about. Ellie. She was badass in that game. She was awesome in this movie. Or the chick that I think could be Ellie was awesome in this movie. She's like a kid, but she's adult, so it makes sense. So you buy it. Like, she's kind of, you know, helping them out with their investigation, and she actually does some pretty cool shit on her own. And I gotta give the movie props for that, because I really wasn't expecting anything from her at all. And the other great thing about this movie is that stylistically, it feels like a movie made in the 70s. You ever see a movie that's like supposed to be this old school movie? It's supposed to give you an old school vibe, but it really feels like a movie that could have been made in whatever year you're in right now, like 2014, 2013, 2016, 2015, whatever. This one actually stylistically looks and feels like a movie that should be in the 70s, so props. Props for that. Big props. And now the Luthors. Okay. Only two issues I have with this movie. One issue is the first 20 to 30 minutes of the movie felt a little bit slow. Like, it took me a while to get going. It took me a while to get invested. The jokes really weren't landing. The humor wasn't really there for me. I didn't really buy it. You know, it was just kind of like, okay, this, and it was just kind of going, and it just took me a little bit to get going with it. You know, after the first 20, 30 minutes, I thought the movie was hilarious. I thought there was a lot of really funny, awesome shit in the movie. But the first, quarter of it, I was just kind of like, when are we going to get started here? You know, kind of thing. It's not like a huge issue, but it is something I have to bring up in the review. And the other issue with the movie is, even though the story is interesting and intriguing and you're following this mystery and you care about how it's happening, it gets a little bit convoluted at the end. Like, there's just kind of too many things to keep track of. Like, I have to keep track of, okay, wow, this person, that person, and oh, I got to keep track of that person thing over here. At some point, it just becomes too much. There's just too much going on, too much happening all at once. And it is a little bit of an issue towards the end of the movie. And my rating for the movie, though, despite those two issues, I'm going to give this one a Superman Prime rating. Superman Prime, it is an awesome movie. It's fun. It's got great action. It's got terrific chemistry with the characters. Definitely go check it out if you haven't already this weekend, guys. The Nice Guys is worth your money. It was worth mine. Let me guys know what your favorite buddy cop type movie. Is it Rush Hour? Is it Lethal Weapon? Something else? Let me know. Comment, like, share. If you like what you see, tell me how you feel. Stay tuned to hear more from the Man of Steel. Peace.